Hello, today we're going to be talking about the cost of credit and ADHD. Stay tuned. Hello, this is Catherine with Catherine Motivates, and today we're talking about money and ADHD. Sometimes the two don't mix, but I want to give you some practical, easy advice as to how you can keep yourself organized and really saving money wherever you can. I've said in the past to keep very simple fixes in how you organize your money. So what I do is I actually have all of my bills in one red folder, right? Simple folder. And how I go ahead and organize them is I organize them, I put them all in a folder, and I always take out the envelopes because the envelopes for me overwhelm me and it makes me feel like I have more paper. So I always take out the envelopes and I have my bills separated in two. Like I always say, my post-it notes, if it's green, this, and I have a little red clip here, this is credit related. This is a credit card, a payment, something that's going to affect my credit. So that's why I need to make sure that I'm going to pay this on time, that I'm going to pay it, even if it's an auto pay, something that I know exactly what's going on with this, that I stay on top of it. These are my water bill, as well as, what else is on there? Another document, another financial document. Now, for all of you people who are environmentally conscious, I am too, and I know I shouldn't be getting paper, but the reason why I get some of these papers is because I want to make sure that I don't affect my credit, that these are paid. And so it was really actually difficult for me to get the paper because I knew for me that was only going to be the solution. And actually I'm thinking, no, I can't do that. But you know what? For a few of my bills, I do get them. And that's actually, this is my car payment, just to make sure that I know it's paid. I follow up on it. And again, this is an auto deduct, but again, that's what I do. I also, in this simple folder, I keep my deductions that are coming out, and I also keep when my deposits are coming in. So I keep the date, the item, and the amount. Very simple. So I really try not to complicate it. This is it. This is all I do, one folder. There are other paperwork that comes in that I have to take care of. Again, if it's financial related, I put that green post-it and I keep it in here. And this is something I keep by me all the time to make sure that I'm staying on top of these bills. Very simple. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that will save you a ton of money is to make sure you're paying your items that have late fees. Now, I'm not talking about having a credit card where you don't pay it off each month. You're going to incur finance charges. And yes, simply, if you pay off your bill each month, you're not going to incur any finance charges. What I'm talking about are late fees, because ADHDers are notorious for paying late fees. The payment is due on the 15th. You pay it on the 20th because that's when you pay all your bills. And you're incurring anywhere between $19 and $39 in extra fees. That's an extra $400 a year that you're adding onto your bill only because you may not realize it. Some people really don't realize it. They're thinking 30 days. Okay, if I pay before the 30th day, I'm not going to be reported late on my credit. But we have to think more than that. You have to think of the finance charges. If you have a bill, a credit card, where your minimum payment is $50 and you're getting a $39 late fee, that's $11 you're putting towards your $1,000 balance. That's doing nothing, absolutely nothing. You're adding to it. So please remember, look at when your due date is. If your due date is the 15th, pay it before the 15th. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. You can go ahead and set it up where it's automatically coming out of your bank account, right? And do it, if you can, on your pay date. Most people are automatically paid, right? And so you can go ahead and take it out of your pay. Fantastic. But I know I went through a time where I was paid once a month. And that became difficult because, you got that big chunk at the beginning of the month, right? But what I ended up doing is I had my bills taken out the same day that I had my payroll. For me, I knew next day, boom, That was the money that I had because I wasn't always a good budgeter. But I learned to manage from the money that I had, and I had everything taken out that first date. It made it so much easier to budget throughout the month. But again, that was the only way that made it easier for me in keeping organized. The second thing, if your money is not consistently coming in, right? You may be working odd jobs, you may be being paid just by cash, you may be paid by check, but your money is not coming in consistently. And I did do that. I did a lot of contract work, so I wasn't always paid at the same time. So that's where I had some issues when I had automatic deductions coming in, because that's the first thing people say. Have it automatically come out. It's so easy. But what I ended up doing is I would have them come out twice a month, and then the other ones, and not for all of them, and then the other ones I would pay manually. So what I love now, especially these days, is you talk to Chase Bank, you talk to any of the creditors, and they will actually send you a text. So they send you a text saying, hey, your payment is due in 5 days. Put it somewhere. Pay your bill as soon as you get that. Leave the text up so you can see that. And that is a really easy way for you to remember. Another thing is put it in your own phone, right? Put it in your phone or put it in your organizer that's when the due date is. Because if you do not pay that by that date, you're going to incur finance charges. You're already going to get your finance charges if you don't pay, but don't incur the late fees. That's the thing that nobody tells you about. These late fees, they add up. Come on, I'm trying to save you money here. Because what ultimately happens as ADHDers, let's say you're incurring those extra fees, right? But if you're actually late, and I mean late over 30 days, what ends up happening? It affects your credit. And what ends up happening with people with ADHD is that the extra fees in a lifetime that we pay are ridiculous, literally ridiculous. You're talking anywhere between a 0% to 40% on a credit card. You'll never pay that off. It takes you so long to be able to do that, but we don't want that to happen. There are ways to get around it. So one thing that I do, and I do it always just to have a backup, is I do have auto pays on my pay dates, but what I do is I have them take out the minimum. So God forbid, for whatever reason that I forget, my automatic minimum is always paid. And when I'm going to pay over that, when I want to pay off my bill, when I want to pay a bigger chunk, that's when I will do that, as I will do it manually. But I know that at the end of the day, my credit is safe, right? It's not going to affect me. So remember these things, and I hope that they help, and get yourself organized in a very simple fashion, very simple. And again, this is for me, and I know a lot of other people like this, where they like to show something on paper. Now, there are a ton of fantastic apps, and if you like to use those are great. I will leave a few down underneath to kind of tell you which ones that I've referred to and that I've used before. I feel like I'm old school, but I feel that my pen and paper and everything here helps me to stay on task, because again, I feel like if I don't see it, then I'm going to forget it. But whatever works for you works. Doesn't matter if it works for anybody else. It works for you. And make sure, save money. If you have any questions, please leave them at the bottom here, and I'd love to answer any questions. But again, be safe with your money, save money, and I'm telling you, you will be a happy camper. Alrighty, I'll talk to you later in the next video. Bye.